Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the game you may have not heard of leading up to the release of this game.
Well, this is the 33rd installment. How?
It's not a right. Believe it or not, that is not what it is. This is if you haven't heard about this game and haven't seen the headlines, this is a turn-based RPG set in the Belle Époque-inspired fantasy world. I probably pronounced that wrong. I've never heard of this phrase before, but it's where players embark on a quest to stop the enigmatic Paintress, who erases people annually based on a countdown. The game combines traditional JRPG mechanics with real-time action elements, offering a unique combat experience.
And the countdown is according to their age, right?
Correct.
So right now, currently they're at 33.
Yes.
And it just goes lower and lower.
Yeah.
So if they're at 33 age, what happens to them? They just poof.
So it's like they call it the gommage, I believe it was what it is. And then all of a sudden they just they poof. They vanish into ashes. Yeah. So they're old over the age.
Fucking
I think it's
Thanos
over the
comes
age
in
of
and is
33. Yeah, basically it's like Blink. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And so the people that are on
it's interesting.
Expedition 33 are of the age 33 and younger, and they are going on this expedition to try. Every expedition is trying to stop the Paintress from painting another number.
Do they know when the number's about to happen, or is it just random?
Yeah, they do a whole party about it. They have like a
no
whole
shit.
thing. They grow up, they have this
So
whole
they know when it's
celebration and
coming.
gathering, and they prepare and kind of like make it a thing to like prepare for the
this
moment.
would be better as a TV show or something. That's fucking
Maybe.
cool.
I think it would be a great adaptation into a TV show.
Yeah,
I think, honestly, because it's like game wise, it's been really really good. But like I think there's a lot of really interesting story here.
Side note: your epoch.
Yeah,
it's basically epoch.
Okay,
which
cool.
is time or era.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that just sounds like epoch.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why it's French. Sorry,
so
everybody.
it is. This is available on PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, and also on Game Pass, which is what I'm playing on. Austin, are you also on Game Pass?
Yeah.
This is a great Game Pass game. It came out April 24th of this year, and it's $50. So this is not a full price game.
Thank the
This
Lord.
is a quality, not full price game.
$50 for this?
Yes,
Wow.
it was. I almost bought it for 50, and then I was like, let me see what's on Game Pass first. It's on Game Pass.
Oh.
So jumping in this game, me and Austin have both been playing it. I've been really excited about this game, and it's weird that I'm excited about it because these aren't the types of games I would get excited about. I do like turn-based more and more, especially after playing Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon.
And the turn-based mechanics are very similar to this in Like a Dragon. But
Just JRPGs in general.
JRPGs in general, yeah. But I was really attracted to the art direction and the UI of this game, and it being so like Persona, but not so over the top like Persona. And just like the character design and the sound design and all that stuff looked really, really cool. So I got the game. We've been playing it. I'm about 6.5 hours in. Austin, where you think you're at?
I think I'm like 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little less than that because you're pretty far, actually.
Yeah.
At least it seems like that.
Well,
you
6
probably
is more than 4.
I would guess you're probably like 2.5 or 3 based off of where you said you were. Yeah.
Okay, let's say 3.
Yeah. But yeah, this game has been really, really fun to play. I don't know how to. It's got a. I've heard it's like Final Fantasy.
It's got some elements,
Yeah, it's got some elements of Final Fantasy. It definitely has some of the Persona stuff in there. I also think of like, I guess because this is like a JRPG, like I think of Pokemon even, where you're like running around, you just like stumble upon some monsters and start the combat encounters and stuff like that. But
you see the monsters.
Yeah, you see.
Did you say like Pokemon?
Yeah, like Pokemon,
it's just like Pokemon.
Yeah,
except you see the monsters.
But it's like
beautiful.
beautiful.
That's new Pokemon too. Now you see them.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's like beautiful in 3D, which is like insane to think about, you know. But
dude, visually this game is fucking like it's
on point.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And it's really good. I mean, this game hooked me from the very beginning because like right when it opened up, it had this opening sequence where you are playing as you're the main character who's voiced by Charlie Cox, who you may know as Daredevil.
Amazing.
He does an
I had no
incredible job.
idea.
Such a
fantastic.
good job. Yeah. And so you play as you're the main character, which I know you mentioned he looks a lot like the guy from Twilight. What's his name?
Patterson.
Robert Patterson. Yeah.
Patterson.
But Charlie Cox killed it as this.
He's the Batman, okay?
Yeah,
He's the Batman.
That's
now.
true. Yeah,
he's the other
Batman.
Bat.
But you play as Gustav here as the main character, and in this opening sequence, you're preparing for this gommage that's about to happen, where the Paintress will come out and she will paint the next number, which is going to be 33, to basically kill off anybody who's over that age. So it's interesting because every year the number is ticking down. So there's been like 64 and 80 and all that stuff.
69.
So at a certain point, there was 69. There's people that were killed off that were much older, but now old is 33 because that's like the end of life kind of situation. And the music, and the thing about this music too, it's like almost like it's a music video. Like the music is ever present almost in every single sequence of this game, and it's so good. And I was watching a video about the guy that did the music for this. He posted up music in a forum, and the creative director of this game randomly stumbled upon this guy's music in a forum and messaged him and emailed him and was like, "Hey dude, I'm making a game. Would you want to come make music for it?"
God damn, I love
And that's
those
how that
stories,
connection
man. I love
happened.
that. That's awesome.
And it's like, I mean, it's some of the best music I've ever heard in a video game. I don't know how you
it's
feel.
very good. It's like, yeah.
It's
I
like,
think it's so good. Like I forget that it's playing. It's just
Right.
like it just sets the
fits the
tone
scene,
and keeps
you know?
the momentum, and it's great.
yeah, it's like there's some parts where there's like some heavier rock, and then there's some like lighter, just like beautiful voices that are playing music in the background, and just like there some of it, just like the emotion that it captures is so good. I absolutely adore the sound design, and the sound design even more so. Like the sounds in this game are really, really good, but sound and music like really, really plays a big part in this game. But visually, I mean, it's amazing. It's running on Xbox, and it's running really seamlessly. Are you on PC, Austin?
I'm on PC.
How's it run on PC?
It's fine.
Yeah,
I've not had to change anything. It looks fantastic. Runs fantastic.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So like they put a lot of work on making this work well.
Yeah, it's impressive because this world feels. What's so interesting about this game to me is not only is like the combat and the gameplay, which we'll talk about in a minute, really inspiring, but like the world feels fresh and like different. Like I haven't seen anything like this really in a while. Like, I mean, to this level of like this setting and this art design and the character models and just how like everything about it, even like the characters you fight and stuff like that. There's so much like there's
Care. There's a lot of care put into everything. And I feel like in America now, or Western, I guess this is technically Western.
French. Yeah.
Yeah, French. Yeah, I think they're considered part of the West. I just feel like, at least in America, like it's just kind of cookie cutter stuff. Like, here's some basic generic entities that have certain traits, and they fight and do things. And isn't it exciting?
Yeah.
just like very one dimensional, maybe two dimensional. This one goes like 3-4 dimensional, just on the aesthetics of what they wear, how they move, how they act, and then they take the actual, like in the cutscenes, like they actually do real cutscenes, like
Right.
Real cinematics,
Which is fine, you know. It's like I don't need to be part of the world or anything like that. Like, give me a really good cutscene with some great character dynamics and stuff like that. I'm cool with that. And I think that's one of the things that they really realized with this game is that they focus in on like the things that they really honed in on what really mattered, which for them was the art direction and the combat, and then everything else around it. Like they don't have an open world. You know, there's not like a bunch of things to check off the boxes. Which the big thing about this game, this is coming from a series of veteran developers, 30 ex-Ubisoft devs. These were all Ubisoft people who came from the Ubisoft ecosystem.
You kind of see some Ubi in it, but not to the point of what we know now.
Right. Well, it's like somebody mentioned on a article that I was reading that this is what happens when you like unleash that team and let them kind of flourish and do what they want, let them cook, you know? And this is kind of, they're not being held down by Evs Guillermo or whatever the guy's name is that runs Ubisoft. And they're like given full reins to just like build what they really want to do. And this is it, you know? It's crazy.
Just like every megacorp, it's all about making money. Like, let's get an IP. Let's make the general open world and traverse kind of like Assassin's Creed, but now you have guns, or Star Wars and now you have laser guns. And
yeah,
it's just like, okay, like
They're called blasters.
I will not call it that. If it's made by
Laser
Ubisoft.
guns.
Laser guns.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is a pleb thing to say, huh? No, but you just let people cook. Let people come up with these interesting IPs, and I guarantee you'll see success, but they just can't seem to wrap their head around that nowadays. Like these people just want to be in control too. Like their ideas come from God, and they're like, we're making this stuff and it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this is amazing to see that just let people who are creative be creative.
Yeah.
And the money will come.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they definitely saw an opportunity here with like what people are looking for. And, they come from a studio in which everybody's yelling at them for like, oh, you got too much shit in here. This is overwhelming. Like you gotta cut back. We don't need a checklist of boxes. We want story. And here they were like, you know what? The lead guy that started this company, apparently he's like, JRPGs is his jam. So he's like, I want to make a really good JRPG, but I don't want a Persona level of RPG.
Yeah.
I want to bring it in, rein it in, and make it accessible to more people. And that's what they did. So I want to talk about combat because that's like kind of the big kind of key thing. This is a turn-based combat game. Super dynamic, super cool. Feels a little bit like Yakuza and other JRPGs and stuff like that. You time your dodges and parries in every instance. And that was something that to me was like, I've seen that in other games, but this one, I feel like you can compare this to like a FromSoft game and the level of like difficulty in the game, but I like that it's not in real time. Like it's more of a kind of a it's more of a technical game than it is a reactionary game. Mm-hmm. There is reactions obviously to parry and dodge, but like I have to think about technically, okay, I have to learn these patterns and I can see these patterns and I'm not having to run around in circles from an enemy. I can just like sit there and like let them hit me once and observe what's happening and then have time to think about, okay, like get a rhythm down of like dun dun dun, and that's like the rhythm of their hit, and then start to get better at parrying that particular enemy. And then when you find like-minded enemies and it's like, okay, I know their rhythm, so let me see if that same rhythm kind of jives here, and you can kind of I feel better about a game like this to have to use parry and dodge and stuff like that, because I feel like there's a very clear path for me to master it. Whereas I feel like I don't have that luxury of time in a FromSoft game, for example.
Well, yeah, because you're moving all the way around.
Right.
Like there's a lot more to track. And it's like you might be behind them, but they also have like I'm going to turn around and slash you a different way. So they have like way more attacks that you have to
that's
try
right.
to remember.
Your placement affects the game too, and this one doesn't. It's like your placement is always fixed, so it removes a variable basically.
And then when it's your turn, it's like, oh, okay, here, do I want to heal? Do I want to revive? Do I want to do an attack that will mark the enemy so my teammate who's going to go after me can do more damage on their attack? And there's just a lot more. It's easier to plan, which is very typical, like JRPGs in general. So I've always appreciated that. Yeah. Because there is, like, as you get more people in, and if you're fighting a boss, they can summon enemies. So you have, like, multiple people going at a time. And there's that balance of, okay, when do I heal? When do I charge up my attack so I can do more powerful attacks? And that ebb and flow of the combat, I find it exciting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this to be a turn-based game when they first announced
it.
At the Game Awards 2 years ago.
Right.
I was just like, oh, this looks like it's going to be like one of those, like...
Devil May Cry, maybe?
Yeah, Devil May Cry style game. It was very unexpected to see this.
Was Black Myth? That wasn't turn-based, was it? Right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Mm-hmm. I was thinking of like more of a Black Myth, actually, when it first came out. It was that kind of thing, but... I love that it's turn-based, so I think it really fits the mold really well, and it's gripped me quite a bit. So every character you have, you start out with like one character, and then you add another one, and you add another one, and eventually you can only have a party of 3 that's actively fighting, but you have a larger expedition of people that are in your team, and each one has a very unique set of abilities and traits. Mm-hmm. So every single one of them, it's like you have these action points that you build up in certain ways for that character, and the action points are what you use to spend on your skills to do skills that are specific to your character. And then you also have items that you can leverage. What I also like about this too is there's not a bunch of like item seeking around the world. Mm-hmm. Like most games, it's like, oh, you got to go find this, you got to find that. All you have to do is you find points or like experience points that basically add into your arsenal to upgrade things. But all you have to use is 3 different potion vials. And one is to heal a party member like 30%. One will revive an ally and bring them up to 30% health. And the other one is, what's the other one? It's another ability. I can't remember what it does. I haven't used it yet, but it's a third ability. But you always have one of each of those in a run. And every time you get to a save point or a rest point and you rest, it recharges 1 vial each.
Okay.
And then you also have what's called these chroma elixirs that if you're
I think
in
it's
a
the
bind,
AP. You can add.
oh yeah, I think you're right. It's AP. It
You can
replenishes
add
AP.
three AP to somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then you have the chroma elixirs that if you're outside of combat and you're running around, you just got in a hard battle, but you don't know where another rest point is, you have a limited amount of chroma elixirs that'll re-heal your entire team up to once. You can upgrade that as well to like 2, maybe 3 later on. But that's the only consumables that you ever have to worry about. And they're always equipped every time you rest and you get that replenished. So it makes that process a lot easier.
Probably upgrade them too over time.
Yeah, you
to
do,
get a little
yeah.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
I feel like
one.
there's been enough flags around.
Yeah, exactly.
Campfires, quote unquote, to like replenish everything and
Rest points.
Yeah.
rest points. Thank you.
And the rest points are kind of cool too because they kind of tie into the story a little bit because they all have numbers. So they are rest points of past expedition quests, people who have left a flag for their future expeditioners to have a point of rest. So it's like you'll see Expedition 59 and Expedition
that
64 and stuff like that. So
That sucks.
So wasn't the first
Right.
expedition 0?
Like that right there kind of tells you like they're not gonna fucking.
Oh, yeah,
make it,
no,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like
Yeah,
no,
we
they're
need
already-
number 2.
Yeah, get all the
we
way
need
to
the second game.
yeah. Like that's kind of sad.
yeah, I know it is. It is sad. No, the first expedition was like 99 or something. It started at the top and it's going down to 0.
Yeah,
So
I thought
we're
the first
getting-
one was 0, and then they went to 99 or something like that.
that's backwards.
Oh, maybe. I don't think
I know
so.
because it was weird, like the way that they described it. Because I think that was a question. Because early on when
Yeah.
before you leave the port, there's a question about that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but I thought it was like I was like, oh, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Maybe
it
I'm
started
wrong.
at 0,
Maybe I'm
but
wrong.
yeah. I just know there's been, I think, 99 expedition, or it started at 99, I believe,
Right.
and then
So a
dropped down.
99-year-old went off, or
Yep.
they
Yeah.
just send the young ones to go.
No, they sent the old people.
They sent the old.
Yeah.
"Oh, this expedition.
Figure it out.
But you can go younger because, like, for example, your
They didn't survive.
sister is with you. Her name's Mael, I believe. She's like 15 years old. So she's traveling with you, and it's voiced by Shadowheart, which is really cool. So it's
Yes.
kind of cool to hear
Yes.
her in this thing. Yeah, I mean, combat has been like really,
That's what I
really
just
cool.
got to right here.
Yeah. Okay. So you're probably about probably two and a half maybe in the game. Yeah.
It feels longer.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it was longer because of all the fighting I had to do.
yeah. There was a lot of fighting in that first world.
I felt like I had to do a lot of grinding just to get my health up and power up in order
Yeah.
to beat some of the characters.
When it's like one thing too, it's like it's a little can be a little disorienting when you're in the world because it's linear open world. It's like a
Open
open
area.
area, but there's no map when you're in the world itself, like the region, and you just have to wander around and just hope you get where you need to go. There's sometimes like visual cues in the world, like there might be like lanterns that like guide your pathway to tell you kind of like this is the right path to go.
Yeah.
But there's never like a clear, like you can't just like press a button and have like a visual marker, which is ironic for Ubisoft devs to like have the opposite of that, of like you're now having to really find your way through the environment. But for the most part, it hasn't been disorienting. I've had a pretty easy time getting my way around. There's just a few times where I was like running in circles and I stumble upon a boss that almost kills me. And then I get a cool weapon from him. So I was like, okay, that's great. But so
Now
there's,
what?
Yeah. Then you die or not. Yeah. But it's great. It's fun.
Can I jump back to the beginning? 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like the intros could potentially be a masterclass on how to start a game,
Yeah,
like a new
sure.
IP,
Yeah.
because it's not just. I mean, I don't even know of a good example of like jumping into a world.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the current AAA titles that has been released by Ubisoft or American companies, just like they're not interesting. And this one, taking from like, here's a new IP with a new world, a new story, and we gotta explain it all. Like introducing these characters, I felt like it did great by giving this person, he's gonna go talk to a loved one or a past ex, and there's a conversation about that, and so you're like kind of already invested. I mean, the acting is really good with the dialogue also being good, so like it's like, ooh, I like want to know more, and then you progress through the rooftops and you're slowly like learning some of the abilities that you have, and then there's a duel that you can do if you wanted to, and they have like a whole like story moment about it, like, hey, you know, you're looking kind of not yourself, let's have a duel to perk you up and get your blood flowing type of thing.
that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel every morning. I just need to duel someone.
I know, right?
It's a spar with
I'm
your
not
sister.
feeling myself. Let me fucking beat up on this 15-year-old.
Yep. And so you go,
Oh yeah, that's fine. Siblings beating up on each other.
Yeah.
Then you go and you meet your ex,
Sophie,
and very attractive, by the way.
oh yeah, she's beautiful.
And just like them talking to each other, knowing that there's a past and there's like some, I don't want to say contention, but like, you know, like they aren't on the best of terms, but they don't
There's
hate each other.
unresolved feelings there, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like they broke up and it wasn't technically, I guess it was his choice. Anyway, play the game. You'll hear all about it. But I felt like it was kind of quick, but also like very eased into it in a very natural way. And then as you walk down to the pier and you see the festivities and you start talking to people, like how the world starts to open up from one like area to the next, and you're really like getting involved on like what's going on and really understanding the world. And I got invested, and I was like, man, I don't know the last time I saw something like this.
Yeah, I think I legit in my full notes wrote down, where did I put it here? Did I delete it on accident? Wait, no, I didn't delete it.
before the podcast.
No, because I wrote it in. Okay, here. Yeah, I wrote awesome opening scene, a great dialogue and setup. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's my masterclass.
So by the time you get to the point that we all understand very early on in this whole sequence that people are about to die, like you feel it. Like it's actually powerful. You know, it's still a video game, so it's not like watching a movie or something, but it's still like, ooh, I'm invested. I want to go on this journey now. And yeah, I don't know. I wish more games could take a note from this.
It felt very cinematic, you know, and I mean, it was a lot of cutscenes and stuff like that, but like what I also loved about it too, it's like there's you oftentimes will see a lot of games, and even in like Bethesda games and stuff like that, sometimes the dialogue delivery doesn't have like true emotion in the voice, the tone
In
of the
a
voice.
Bethesda game, you're saying
right,
that?
right.
It doesn't have
Yeah,
that?
the impact,
Dude, it's crazy, right?
The impact is
What?
not there.
And this one, like, I mean,
Floating head.
these
Man,
actors,
I'm so sad.
you can tell that these actors and actresses were really given like incredible direction about how their tone of voice should be, because there's moments where like you know, Shadowheart's just, you know, her character was just great as it was, but in Charlie Cox and everybody, like these are veteran people that have done like a lot of acting before, but like in the way in which they like kind of, you know, are soft spoken when they need to be soft spoken, or, you know, raise their voice when they need to raise their voice. There's like a lot of like range in their vocal like presentation, I guess, that was really, really impressive all throughout, and it hasn't stopped being impressive. Even there's moments where you have like this typical JRPG stuff where like you have the little text on the screen, but they're still talking to that text. It's just not a full animated cutscene.
Yeah.
Even that dialogue is not like stilted or like stiff. You know, it's still delivered really well, which I can really appreciate.
I mean, you just see the care that was taken into making this game in every aspect.
Yeah.
So, like with that, I already have respect for it, which also makes me want to see what else they're like. What's going on here throughout the whole thing.
And I also think
hooked you.
that the tutorial of it was really good too, as it like interwove tutorial elements to the intro cinematic story, and that it like taught you very slowly the basics of the combat, and then the basics of traversal, and then eventually it started adding in these new layers of things where by the time now it's like I'm doing all kinds of shit, like combining all kinds of stuff together. And if I went back 4 hours ago, I would be like, there's no way I would have known all this stuff and like had it come to me so easily.
Yeah.
But I feel like they did a really good job with like introducing that stuff in a nice pace so that you could learn and get good at those abilities before they introduce new things, you know, as you progress. Because even like I said earlier, like the characters are all very different in how they play. Like Gustav, for example, his main ability is that he builds this overcharge meter with dodge and parries, successful dodge and parries. So once he hits a 10 out of 10 on his overcharge meter, he does full damage. And he has an ability called overcharge that if you're fully overcharged at that point and you hit that person, if you can get those parries built up at the right time, you can unleash intense amount of damage on the enemy. But it takes time to get to that point. So you got to kind of work him up to that point. And then there's another character who has these like orbs that she collects. That's like a physical thing in the world that like floats in front of her or whatever. And she collects these, or the shards, I think. She collects these little shards, and different abilities collect certain colors of shards, and different abilities use those shards to enhance the damage output or the ability of that thing. So you got to be mindful of like those different shards. And then another character does a thing where she is like collecting, she changes stances. It's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, where you have 3 different stances, and each stance does something different. But if you don't switch a stance, then you go to a stance-less position, which is a negative for her character, because if she doesn't have a stance, she doesn't have any buffs on her character. So you want to switch to like, one of them is like plus 50% damage, but then you have a chance of 50% more damage hit on you as well. Another one is like increased defense, and another one is plus 200% damage for like one period of time. So
I gotcha.
Every character is completely unique in how they're played. And I think that's really interesting that they've added that layer of depth. And then your weapons have trait characteristics that, you know, a weapon will lean towards vitality and might. So you have to invest points into those to make that weapon do more damage.
Same weapon? Like,
you can upgrade, you can change weapons out over time.
so you change weapons. Well, okay, let me rephrase the question. So you upgrade the same weapon over time.
You can also find new weapons.
Find new weapons,
So you find new weapons, but you can also upgrade them. So you kind of decide what your play style is. I know there's a lot of depth to that, the combat system, which I think is like, for me, is surprisingly so interesting. But I'm like really into it. Like, there's even these things called pictos that you pick up that are basically like
Pictos?
Pictos, Pictos,
Like pick your toes.
With you.
they're like augments for your character.
Okay.
So you apply these augments to different characters, and you can combine them to different ones. And each character can have, I think, 3 augments or 3 pictos.
Yeah.
And they enhance certain abilities. And then there's even these things called luminas that will allow you to. You can put in Lumina points in your character to take pictos that are equipped on other characters and add them to your character based off of a point value. So you can kind of essentially have 7 pictos equipped, but they're not necessarily equipped to you.
Kind of a weird name.
Yeah,
It's this crazy in-depth thing, but you can, the essence is that you can build these crazy, complex, unique builds for every character that I did not expect to see in this game.
I was watching his video. Do they turn into dust or flower petals?
Flower petal dust.
Is that why there's flower petals
dust
everywhere? That's
Be.
pretty fucking sad, dude. Like, I see piles of them. I'm
Because
like,
the people who are going to pass are wearing flower petals.
flowers. Oh my god, dude! This
Yeah.
this is interesting.
Yeah, the way they set it up, it's like, oh shit.
I don't like turn-based games. That's my only issue.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to play this game. It looks phenomenal. Storyline sounds amazing. It's just like, you see a pile of flower petals over there.
Dude, I
like,
know. It's so,
I was wondering
It's
what
setting
there's
you
so
up
many-
for the death.
Yeah,
The death of a
That's
generation.
interesting.
it's a sad world almost, but then it's like they also add in humor later on.
Yeah.
Like, Austin, you'll later get to you'll encounter these little creatures that are like kind of you guys remember Monster Hunter Wilds, those little like
Cat
little
things.
animals that run around.
Yeah.
Kind of like that
What are
in
those
their
things called?
personality.
Palico.
Palico.
Yeah.
Palico.
Yeah, they're kind of like those characters, but they're like little like I don't know. They're almost like it when you find those like sculpted like tribal heads running around, but they're like living, and they say these funny lines and stuff like that. And they're just really silly and kind of dumb, but like
It's good.
kind
You
of
need that.
entertaining and
Lighten
like
it up
a
a
nice
little bit.
light twist from the bad people you keep killing. You
I
know,
just still can't get over how beautiful the graphics are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a great job.
yeah.
Play it.
The other thing,
I want to, but I don't know if I have the time to.
Fair enough.
lengthwise, it's supposed to be like a 30-hour game, so it's not like
That's
a super
reasonable.
long one. But
Is there a lot of side quests and stuff you can do? Because you said like the map itself is
don't
not. There's no direction. You're just going.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
Is there side quests you pick up along the way, or if it's pretty linear?
It's very much. There's not even like you have an objective.
Yeah.
That you press Y on your controller and it pops up like here's your current objective.
No.
But there's really you don't pick up. There's no quest log. There's no like which I love about because especially again this Ubisoft. The fact that they were able to restrain themselves from that, is like amazing to me. But like you just
Ubisoft
have like
devs.
Ubisoft devs, yeah. But it's like they just kind of give you a guiding light, and they don't even tell you exactly what you need to do. It's just like, hey, you need to find this place in this region. So you just gotta like run around until you find it, and then but there's like enough environmental storytelling to kind of guide you along the path.
Yeah.
But no like side quest. The only thing when you go off to the side is you might find a monster that you can fight. They'll give you some special stuff, or you might find some chroma or something to enhance your character.
Toes.
Yeah. So you want to go explore just because, but you don't have to do. It's kind of like God of War. We just like go off this little path for like a hot minute.
It's even less than that.
Yeah.
Like God of War actually has like really cool side areas that you could fight a boss in. It's just like turn the corner, make a right, and there it is. There's a boss.
Yeah.
Kill him.
The world. So whenever you exit an area, you enter into anybody that's played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands will remember this. You have a little big head mode where you're like walk around this overworld, kind of like a tabletop game.
It's like a tabletop game almost. And I was watching Brett play it, and I noticed like the trees, the bushes are actually trees, and you're just actually big, and you're going around. And he brings up a good point. It's like a tabletop thing, and that's just for you to get to another area. And it's just like that's your kind of just.
He's kind of like Tiny Tina's little.
That's what we just said.
I did not hear you say that.
Both said it.
That's why I thought it then.
So
I heard it.
But I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really unique thing, and it's like in that mode you can like you see everything around you. You see all the enemies. You see stuff in the distance. You can go explore those areas
too. I saw that.
Yeah, there's a camp that only when you're in the overworld or between different like key areas, you pull up a camp like Baldur's Gate 3, and in that camp you can upgrade your character. It's a safe area to upgrade your character. And you eventually unlock somebody later on that lets you upgrade your equipment, your weapons and stuff to make them stronger, and then also upgrading your flasks, and then upgrade your Lumina points so you can apply to your characters and stuff too. So. And then you can also do, I also didn't realize this. I feel like an idiot now because I love the story in this game. But there's a line where when you go to the campfire, you can say, because you can go around just like talk to your friends and stuff like that. And there's like just mini dialogue. But when you go to the campfire to rest, there's an option to check in on your teammates or whatever. And it's a cutscene that I've probably missed like 4 cutscenes now because I didn't realize that was an actual like fully designed cutscene. I was like, damn. So
just
I haven't got that far yet.
Story bits type thing.
More story bits, to kind of build those relationships with the characters. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it was really cool.
I'm really digging this. Like, just I don't know.
I think it's going to be a must-play game of the year. It's definitely going to be a game.
That's
GOTY.
what I was going to ask. Will it be GOTY? I mean, from what you guys are telling me, gameplay's good, music's great, acting's great, fucking
this
story's great, cinematically visuals are great, cinematics are great. Like, y'all think this is a potential for a GOTY?
Yeah, especially now that Grand Theft Auto was pushed to September to next year. I mean, this literally.
What are you talking about? We still got Shadows, baby.
Yeah,
GOTY.
This checks every single box and does it really well. Like, yeah, I mean,
all the right
game
boxes.
Of the year should be all the things, and every year the game of the year has something that's missing from it. But man, this thing is just. I'm really, really enjoying my time.
There needs to be a new category, like best price point game of the year.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Right?
I really think this might get it this year, if you want to be honest, because this is what everyone's talking about currently, besides Repo and that's really about it. And Rivals, of course.
Yeah,
but
Rivals.
I don't think Rivals have a...
it won't be GOTY.
It won't be GOTY. And Repo won't be GOTY. But I think this, like right here, has a very high potential, at least to get it nominated. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like it the proof in the pudding is already there with like in the first weekend when this game came out, it sold over 1 million copies in 3 days, not counting Game Pass players.
Oh man!
And then
What's it doing on Steam?
it's achieved a 92 Metacritic and a 9.7 user score, putting it as the highest rated game of 2025, one of the highest rated games.
To be
And it even peaked at 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, outpacing many AAA titles.
God damn, dude.
Well, look at these charts. All-time peak on Steam was 145 players right now, 114,000.
That's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
And 24-hour peak was the 145,
145.
which is crazy.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a 30-hour game too. I can imagine
yeah.
a lot
It's
of
only
people.
been out for 48 hours. I mean, it's going to decrease here before
Yeah.
too long, but
Yeah, I don't know what the replayability of this would be. I don't know if there is a strong replayability necessarily, just because it's like, I mean, changing your builds,
Yeah.
you might want to try and like, and especially if they let you like replay bosses and stuff, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But
Is,
yeah,
so we don't know about in-game content. Do they have a roadmap or anything for DLC?
I don't think there's meant to be. I think this is just like,
a
yep,
wanted. I love it.
yeah,
I fucking
that's
love
what it needs to be, you know? Yeah.
I love it.
so this is the top critically acclaimed titles released so far this year. Blueprints, obviously Clair Obscur, Split Fiction, and the Talos Principle Reawakened, which has already been out multiple times.
Yeah.
So
Oh shit, dude.
It was funny. I was talking to a friend last night, or 2 days ago, and I was telling her about this, and I was like, the only thing about it is it was getting a little repetitive with like moving and then fighting a battle and then just exploring and fighting a battle. And then like last night I jumped into it and I played like 2.5 hours and I was like, nah, never mind. I'm back into it now. Like I'm learning the systems and I'm just like, I mean, it might be a 10 out of 10 for me, honestly. Like it could qualify for that.
man, for this to just come out of nowhere, get Game of the Year this year would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll be happy for it.
Oh, I would
yeah.
too.
You know,
So, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, made by Sandfall Interactive, former Ubisoft devs, and they're bringing in
Bringing the
some
heat,
excitement.
baby.
It's great, and the fact that this is a new studio, this is their first IP as that studio, like that's freaking impressive.
I like it.
Yeah, so
Let
check
them
it
cook.
out.
Let them cook.
I
Let
kind of
'em
want to
cook.
watch like all the cinematics because I'm curious about the story.
I think
wanna
you'd
see.
really like the story a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's
Watch
just
the
gripping.
intro and then see if you want to buy it.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll
I
watch
feel
the
like it'll
intro.
make you buy it. That's just me though.
Yeah,
There's those things you're talking about.
those guys are so cute. They're so funny.
My little paintbrushes, dude.
Yeah.